tower to be incorporated as a parent to the local lifeguard goddess. This was a double strategy, serving as a means to gain acceptance for the new upper-class religion and at the same time preserve indigenous identity. The goddess controlling life was viewed as an all-powerful, supreme great goddess as early as 3000 or 4000 BC. The great goddess was demoted to a lower grade than the supreme male god. The position of Samshin in the Samsung-Haraman exorcism is lower than that of supreme being, the highest of the heavenly gods of Taoism. Nevertheless, the indigenous people never believed in the supreme being of Taoism, nor in the Buddha, despite Buddha's depiction of Buddha Sakyamuni as a parent of Samshin. Instead, they worshipped Samshin. Korean shamanism embraced the gods of Taoism and Buddhism. On the one hand, and believed in Samshin in the local lifeguard goddess. On the other hand, Samshin thereby ascended to the same level of the divinity as the Buddha and the supreme being of Taoism. Seopo Sangjo, written in the Korean script, was compiled in the 1446. The book was the first Korean version of Buddha's life history, edited from several Chinese sutras. But most sutras were in Chinese, which meant that, except for a few elite priests, most people could not understand Buddhist thought. Under these circumstances, the ordinary people could not access Buddhist beliefs directly. This is confirmed in the good narrations. Although percentage of Christian increased after the introduction of Christianity in the early 20th century, most ordinary people relied on shamanism for spiritual consolation until 1960s. Chapter 3, is it good that shamanism is disappearing today? As explained above, Korean shamanism and Buddhism have shared a friendly coexistence for about 1600 years. But Buddhists these days can easily listen to lectures on Buddhist thoughts, read about sutras, and perform rhythmic aesthetic exercises, things that only religious specialists could do in the past. This is a revolutionary change that may be spiritual progress. In accordance with this change, Buddhism has come to exist independently without having to coexist with shamanism. I suppose that similar changes have taken place in all Asian countries. If so, is it enough that shamanism is preserved as part of an ancient cultural heritage that is displayed only at cultural events? I suggest instead that shamanism be seen as a living cultural heritage which can still have a vital effect on human life. Shamanism has lost its prestige as a powerful religion, but its narratives need to be regenerated as a major cultural text in the postmodern age. The narratives of good contain stories of great value for human beings living in an age of ecological crisis. Buddhism, shamanism, and other religions can coexist through such a revival. The first reason we need to revive good narrative is that most of them are the creations of women, that is, non-patriarchal discourses. Good narratives contain women's unbounded spirituality, mentality free from slavish femininity, despite the pervasiveness of patriarchal ideologies. Good narratives were transmitted orally as a means for women suffering miserably under patriarchal domination to rescue themselves. Good narratives are not history but her story, melting women's hand by giving them a life principle to hold tightly in their hands against the encroachment of patriarchal psychology in their consciousness. Han is a feminine, Korean kind of agony. A person with the hand does not go into rage, but instead tries to melt her own agony away. A typical text that exemplifies that this is Bali narrative, in which Princess Bali goes to Sachansayoku in ancient India, takes the miracle water, returns with it, and brings back to life the dead parents who had abandoned her. Good narratives like this, together with the concept of Han, are similar to Buddhist teachings that teach us that we can attain inner peace if we can abandon the three poisons of greed, hate, and blindness. There are a few feminist readings of Korean shamanist narratives, and I suppose there are similar narratives in other non-Western countries. In my opinion, we can find the foundation of Asian feminism in oral and written texts of Asian shamanism, the basis of Korean indigenous religion. The second reason to revive the good narrative is the ecological value. Shamanistic tales allude to an animistic view of nature in which every component of the universe has its own life or soul. All things ranging from the souls of dead authority figures, animals, trees, plants, mountains, lands, rivers, and celestial bodies such as the sun, moon, stars, are objects of reverence. Gregory Basin said that animism, which expansively adopts the concept of personality and mind to nature, and totemism, which considers the
Well, one final point that Jung-hee makes, that these narratives could be very valuable for our young people as well, rather than the patriarchal stories that they're getting from comic books and television and action films. Perhaps these indigenous narratives would be better stories for our children. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. Now, our next speaker is Venerable Hong Shang, who is from Taiwan. And her list of activities and contributions is too long to recount. One special one that I would like to mention is that she is on the board of directors for helping establish Sakyadhita9. So she is here to talk to us today about bhikshunis as leaders in contemporary Taiwan. Venerable Hong Shang.
各位菩萨大德，大家阿弥陀佛。我是来自台湾，我今天要报告的就是讲到当代现在台湾的比丘尼的领导地位。中国呢有5000多年的文化历史，自古以来，女性在社会或者在家庭的地位，一直都是处于次要的地位。但是由于呢， 佛陀的姨母大爱到比丘尼出家，成为比丘尼之主，所以我们的教团中才有比丘尼。但是由于呢，在佛陀当初呢，比丘尼要出家的时候，他制定了8不可违法，所以在佛教中呢，我们的比丘尼还是处于比较次等的地位。虽然说我们比丘尼一直在我们的教团当中扮演着非常重要的角色。 但是我们的发展空间呢，也因为这样子而受到了限制。台湾的佛教是中国佛教的一部分，比丘尼在台湾发展是一个非常重要的人物。根据当时太虚大师他到台湾的时候，譬如说他坐船登上这个陆地的时候，他就讲了一句话说：“哎呀，我看这块土地呢，以后就是比丘尼的天下。” 所以呢，台湾比丘尼的那个领导地位的变迁，一直到现在可以分成 几个阶段来说明。第一个阶段说，台湾接受日本统治的时期，就是佛教日化的时期。第二个，因为台湾的佛教由于在清代的时候受到了法律的限制，要年满了40岁以后，你才可以出家。如果你还没有满40岁的时候，你是以代法修行的方式住到寺院里面去。那这个寺院呢，如果有住着代法修行的女众，就叫做斋堂。 然后呢，这些女众就叫做斋夫。这段时间呢，这时期的佛教呢，和和尚住在寺院里面的话，因为是自化，所以他可以结婚，可以呢婚食，并且过了一般俗人的生活方式。因为受了这个影响，一直到现在，为什么台湾的寺院有比丘跟比丘尼同住，就是因为这个原因。比如说，当时如果说你是一个比丘尼，能够当上住持的话， 那么呢，因为本身台湾的 比丘尼的学历呢并不高，经历也不足，所以都是靠着自己的家人或者是朋友来帮你处理你寺庙的事务。因为这样子，所以呢，有很多人到这个中期的时候，因为寺庙为了这个继承问题、市场的问题，产生了很多的问题，就是这些原因。你说如果出了家呢，一般的观念在这段时期都会想说，我只要三餐有的吃，然后呢，我能够修行专心拜佛念佛，到我的往生以后，我的功德堂上有一个我的牌位，那我就非常满足了。假如说这个比丘尼能够再去修行的话，那就不用，那就已经很好了，不用谈到说我以后当什么领导啊。虽然这段时间生活非常苦，但是呢，这段时间有几个比丘尼呢，他也为了我们这个比丘尼的那个学问啊，办学在奋斗，有德实、德清、采妙、贤清，还有贤生这几个法师呢，在奋斗。这段时间修行的非常著名的就是叫做义妙法师，而且呢，因为台湾的比丘尼地区，如果要受真正的基础，就要到武山涌泉寺。这个那么长的一段时期，就一个人有到武山去受戒，这个法师就叫做妙修法师。那第二个时期就是说，台湾光复后，国家在奠基的时期，日本统治台湾的时候，他是推行皇民化，皇民化也将宗教强行的纳入他的管理，然后国家的发展呢，因此也受到影响。在国民政府他撤退到台湾的时候呢，因为有一些大陆的出家的师父，就是法师啊，年轻的法师呢，他跟着政府到台湾来。那从此中国佛教就进驻了台湾，也帮台湾的佛教奠定基础。中国佛教对传戒非常的重视，所以在呢，南台湾大仙寺呢，就在1952年的时候，第一次传授三坛大戒。那因为中国呢，向来都是恶不胜受，在台湾当时的佛教的状况呢，因为经济不佳，所以呢，在日本统治的时候，一些出家众都已经呈现到半生半死的状态，所以在西元1970年的时候呢，台北灵济寺传戒的时候，我们当时的理事长白胜老和尚呢，他就实行恶不胜受，是台湾第一次的恶不胜受。那个时候是以女众直接教导女众严厉，然后讲比丘尼戒。当初是由天仪法师来讲比丘尼戒，而且他是第一位得戒和尚尼兼开坛和尚、开坛大师父。这个时期呢，还有一件非常轰动的事，因为已经有第一次的传恶不胜受。那这一件呢，比较轰动就是龙福风云。在1976年的时候呢，高雄的大冈山龙福庵，因为是本来就是女众道场，因为这时候他要传三坛大戒，他就想说，这个女众道场他的计划只有单传灵戒，但是这个灵戒的道场也是由天仪法师呢来负责策划，并且兼得戒和尚也兼开坛和尚。那因为大家都反对他单传灵戒，而且说他不如法，到最后他还是恢复的恶不胜受。恢复恶不胜受的时候呢，也是有些呢，就是说比丘都退出了传戒会。但是这个特色就是说，这一次的传戒虽然比较长老的退出，但是呢，因为可以使得一批新人呢，因为这一次的戒坛可以参加戒坛的仪式，而且培养了不少的新血轮。第二个好处就是说，受戒的女众呢，比以前还要年轻，因为呢，当初大家以为说只有单传女众戒，所以很多年轻的女众比丘尼，年轻的女众出家呢，就参与受戒。因为这样子的一件这么大的事件呢，所以呢，女众自己教导女众，也因此在比丘尼教堂中呢可以名扬。光复初期呢，虽然呢这个生活很艰苦，但是呢，有达官跟贤官两位比丘尼呢，却可以在进修院来供养慈让法师跟70位大陆来台的生青年。而且呢，也有妙人跟圆融这个比丘尼呢加入了这个行列啊，办学的行列。而且我们那个圆融法师呢，还多次当选的屏东佛教会理事长，他是台湾第一个当领导的比丘尼。这个事情有一个最有趣的事，就是有一位达明比丘尼，他得了当初的台湾女先导爱国奖件第一特奖10万块，他把这10万块就拿去 整修他的道场，把他道场建设的非常的光芒啊。那因为我们台湾呢，在1987年解除戒严啊，戒严令，所以很多的社团就成立。社团成立呢，而且让比丘尼呢有弘法的机会，有成立道场的机会。到1996年的时候呢，由我们的明宗法师呢，总共有23位比丘尼呢，来成立中华佛教比丘尼协进会。明宗长老呢，他当初呢，我来访问他的时候，他就跟我说，也是受到很多比丘的反对，所以呢，他最后还是把它成立了。比丘尼协进会成立以后，现在我们台湾呢，有13个县市，有24个县市，有13位比丘尼是当理事长。但是虽然呢，领导能力是向前迈进的，但是呢，还没有达到预期的效果。而且呢，我们呢，在我们现在就是说，这个阶段就是要迈向21世纪的发展。佛陀呢，当时是以比丘尼为上座，比丘为上座，比丘尼为下座。所以呢，虽然说台湾的比丘尼有13位是当各县市佛教会理事长，但是实际上呢，他们并没有这个真正的领导的地位啊。因为呢，中央教会我们的中国佛教会也没有赋予比丘尼协会说你可以自己去管理你的比丘尼僧团，也没有。所以在这个21世纪的现在的社会呢，如果说一定要有全能性的领导，而且呢，要为了台湾佛教的永续发展呢，比丘尼是有非常重要的地位。像现在我们21世纪台湾非常重要的几位比丘尼，就是说关于慈济方面的正言法师啦，文化与教育方面的华梵的小云法师啦，还有我们尼僧教育僧团的香光尼僧团的乌音法师，还有关于佛学方面的文化方面的弘清法师的电子词典啊，这都是比丘尼中的典范，也是呢我们应该学习的地方。所以呢，要由文殊修而入戒定慧，解行并重啊，才能够提高我们的素质。然后呢，因为我们真的如果台湾的比丘尼要当上一个领导的地位，在我想的话有几个条件。第一个条件就是说，我们应该怎么样要对这个经典的研习呢，应该要更加加强，素质提高。然后呢，我想当一个比丘尼应该是坐着要会写，然后站着要会讲。第二就是说，我们领导人接班的训练呢，要包括慈善文化教育的主办企划，还有呢，我们这个事业的法律规章、行政管理啊，团体领导啦，还有这个人际关系的3Q 的培训、危机处理的应变、心理执行，还有聆听技巧，这些都是领导人必备的学程应该学的东西。现在呢，环境已经国际化、地球村，所以呢，森林的素质必须要提高，而且呢，这个语言要加强，这是台湾最缺的东西哈，语言没有加强，而且呢，台湾最缺的东西是说，他们比丘尼都很怎么样？不好意思参加国际交流，这是我们最大的缺点。还有比丘尼僧团呢要发挥作用，自己传戒，然后呢自己呢讲戒，自己严理，自己教导。比丘尼僧团有事情的时候，应该是自己来呢解决。然后呢，比丘尼有错的话，应该是在比丘尼僧团中来忏悔哈。还有我们这个比丘尼僧团中的那个合作精神、互助合作比较缺乏，所以呢，现在很多比丘尼当的理事长，就要把我们的各地的比丘尼呢团结起来，然后呢，让比丘尼道场的联系、互助合作的精神能够增加。还有一点就是说，我们在比丘尼要有女中大丈夫的气魄，注重威仪，不要表现女儿态，不要自卑自厌，相反的要克服自己的朋友的缺陷，做一个女中大丈夫。比丘尼呢，有事自己承担，不要依赖比丘，因为能力是相同的。这个呢，如果说我是认为说，如果有上述条件呢，台湾的比丘尼才能够真正有领导的地位。如果我们的比丘尼能够这样改进的话，我相信呢，我们台湾的比丘尼呢，所有的领导都是由那个比丘尼来担任。因为当初呢，太虚大师说过一句话：台湾是比丘尼的天下，中国的佛教看台湾，台湾的佛教看比丘尼僧团。昨天李德法师说，为什么很多马来西亚的比丘尼到台湾呢不回来？因为我刚才讲的上述6个条件，在马来西亚的比丘尼到台湾，已经里面有2、3个条件，所以呢被我们关在台湾，不可以回来。阿弥陀佛。
Thank you for your very informative and inspiring talk. Of course, we know that Bhikkshunis and Buddhist lay women in Taiwan have taken leading roles in the current century, becoming leaders in all fields. So it's an example of what Buddhist women can do. Now, our next speaker is Ai-girl Tan. She has received her doctorate in psychology from the University of Munich in Germany. She's a life member of the Buddhist Fellowship in Singapore. She's from Singapore. She has served as a hospice worker with Amitabha Buddhist Center and a leader in education for hospice work and healthcare in Singapore. She's also a Buddhist speaker with the youth ministry for Kong Mang Santor Kasi Monastery in Singapore. Her paper today is Transforming Differences into Strengths, which is very relevant to our conference theme. She takes the case of Buddhists in Singapore, and her paper is in your paper book. We welcome Ai-girl Tan.
Morning to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, and friends. The theme of this paper is Transforming Differences into Strength in the Framework of Buddhism and Multiculturalism. I'm aware of the time, and I try to skip some of the theoretical discussion that I already presented in written form in the booklet, page 28 to 32. What I'm trying to do is to share some of the personal experience and some of my reflection as a lay Buddhist who have very limited knowledge in Buddhism, but have been involved a little bit in the social and spiritual activity in Singapore. In brief, my understanding of multiculturalism is to emphasize non-discriminatory inclusion. It attempts to bridge differences within and between groups living in the same society to create total well-being for all individuals by recognizing human characteristics and diversity as sources of societal richness. I actually envision a multicultural community that takes differences as resources for change and for betterment. So my paper will discuss multiculturalism in the context of Singapore society and acknowledge possible changes for Buddhist women. So the paper will be organized into three parts. First, I will discuss multiculturalism in the context of Singapore society and acknowledges possible challenges for Buddhist women. And I will also share some of the good practices of Singaporean Buddhists that I observed, especially in the community-based program. Lastly, I will try to suggest some of the roles of Buddhist women in Singapore, proactive roles. So the theoretical understanding of the paper can be summarized into the following figure, but I'm not going to go into the details because it could be a little bit dry. Most of the ideas can be found in the written paper. So I will try to, I see multicultural community as a very important community because people who live in this community actually are very honest and respect each other and try to connect happiness with meditation. Hence, what are the roles and responsibilities Buddhist women should have? I actually suggested three: to be a teacher, because you can see that from the background knowledge that we have on Singapore, most of us are quite moderately educated, if not high, so we can undertake some of the role as a teacher, as a spiritual friends, because in a relatively affluent society, because of that, maybe we can do a little bit more to help each other to grow and build good network within and also across to international community. To assume the role of a leader, this is what I thought some of the good Buddhist women in Singapore has shown. For example, the hospice, the first community hospital was established by a Buddhist nun. That is the first community hospice hospital that have hospice beds for the whole Singapore population. As well as I see also a Buddhist female leader who will be talking to us this afternoon. That is Angie Mountfield. She leads Buddhist fellowship very well and also established Brahm institution. Perhaps we can ask her to share with us what Buddhist women in Singapore have done. Okay? So I summarize in 1 or 2 sentences. I hope I have 1 minute. Okay? What I share with you, in fact, is a little bit academic, and I try to make it into layperson term. I hope I have done it. In general, the challenge to transform differences into strength in a global multicultural community is a good challenge. Okay? Positivity to transform differences into strength could be one of the good ways to do so. And Singapore Buddhist community has certainly been presented just now as a case to show how certain principles and strategies can be used to transform differences into strength. For example, at the policy level, you have inter-religious act to govern harmony between different religious groups and use one neutral language, that is English, to become the language of communication. At the same time, learn mother tongue. If you are Chinese, you learn Mandarin. India, you probably learn Tamil, and so on, okay? To understand different culture, as well as to learn different traditions in Buddhism and also different religions. 1 more minute. The challenge for everyone, especially a Buddhist woman, is to reflect on our roles and responsibility, an evolving, challenging, and exciting role of the 21st century to create peaceful, multicultural community for the good of humanity. Thank you for your attention.
Singapore, Malaysia, Hawaii, societies that are already multicultural can be models for us in trying to create a more harmonious multicultural world. We can learn what works, what doesn't work. So we thank you for your presentation. Now we have a few minutes for questions to our panel, and then we'll take a short break before continuing our panel on Buddhist women across cultures, new roles and opportunities. If we have a maximum of 3 questions, and please save your comments, your commentary for the discussion groups and workshops. Here we'd like to have just 3 clear, short questions. If you have some, please come forward to the mic. Please give your name and who you are addressing your question to.
Okay, Swat Yen, and I address my first question to Dhammacharini. If you could, sorry, I forgot your name. Sorry, I was trying to rush and then I meant to bring the book so I can remember. Anyway, if you could talk a bit more as to how big the population is and as to the population of Buddhist community of the untouchables, and also whether the entrenched custom of being untouchable is changing or is still very much entrenched in the present Indian society. Okay, that's my question for Dhammacharini. And the second question is directed to, I know it's not Metta Suri Chitradin.
Okay, one at a time, please.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Untouchables are in India 9 crore.
9 crores, which I think means 90 million. I get confused with crores and other ways of seeing things in India, but I think that means about 90 million people.
Of them Buddhists, are there 90 million Buddhists or of the untouchables or?
Not all Buddhists. Who was the followers of Dr. Ambedkar, they converted in Buddhism. But rest of untouchables going to convert in this year. Because of 50 years, we are celebrating this anniversary of conversion. So this year, rest of people going to convert.
Yes, this is the 50th anniversary of the mass conversions, and millions of people are most likely going to convert to Buddhism.
We have one more question. Please step to the mic.
This is addressed to the. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry. Could you please give the mic to the
Oh,
person standing here? Yeah.
Very good morning to venerables and sisters. This question is directed to Sister Sylvia. Yeah, you talked about, well, my name is Maxine and I'm from Malaysia. You talk about how Buddhism is in Indonesia. I'm interested to know because Indonesia is a Muslim country and Malaysia is also a Muslim country. Do you face any challenges in spreading and propagating the Buddhism in Indonesia? And how do you continue to propagate? What are the solutions? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, Indonesia is not a, how you call it, religion country. Muslim is not a, how you call it, is a must as a religion. Okay, previously, actually Indonesia is already a Buddhist country during the 7th century. Yeah. Actually, if we talk about Buddhist, how you call it, population, from the government point of view, they are viewing on the Chinese. This is partly correct. But the true Buddhism is not Chinese actually. The follower of Buddhism, we found it in Middle Java, they are Javanese. So this is coming already from tradition. I told you before, in Middle Java, this is already a kingdom, Buddhist kingdom. In South Sumatra, we have a Buddhist kingdom, Sriwijaya. So this is actually our challenge to unify the multicultural. You see, we have Chinese followers, we have the Javanese followers, and what we do actually, we have to be able to, it has to be a universal solution. This is our challenge actually, what we do in terms of education, in terms of whatever we do. We have to create a model that we can implement either for the citizen, for the follower in the city, in the urban area, or in the rural area. This is our challenge actually. Once again, in Muslim is not, how you call it, a religion. Indonesia is not a religion country. So we are a secular country actually, but most of the population is Muslim. Is that okay?
So now we must break. We'll have a 2-minute stretch break, or you can meditate during the 2-minute break because we have just 1 hour left, and some of our Theravada sisters need to begin their lunch by 11:30. So could I have the panelists, the rest of the panelists, please come forward. Mechi Kritsana, Bikuni Yanamati, Mechi Ajaima from Bangladesh, Sonam Wangmo, Bongak Singin. Visiting Chulalongkorn University, she came around the corner and had this beautiful smile on her face, and it was love at first sight. We've been friends ever since. It's been about more than 10 years now. She has received her master's degree in Buddhist studies from Chulalongkorn University, and she's now a PhD candidate at the same university. Today she's come to share with us information about Thai Buddhist nuns and the Thai Buddhist Nuns Institute. Please welcome her.
Selamat pagi. I feel very honored to be here today. Saya rasa bangga datang ke konferensi ini. I would like to talk about the work of Thai Buddhist nuns and their institutes in Thailand. In Thai society, Buddhist nuns are rarely accepted since Thai law doesn't officially recognize nuns as monastic persons. Officially recognized monastic persons are entitled to certain rights by the government, but the law doesn't give nuns these rights. Furthermore, no laws protect nuns, so their rights are difficult. They have to work hard so that the Thai community will know and accept them. This is very different from the monkhood, as when monks are ordained, they are automatically respected and receive support from society. In former times, nuns were elderly people and were not highly educated. But at the present time, nuns are more highly educated. For this reason, the Buddhist Nuns Institute was established in 1969 and has progressively developed so that now there are 25 branches nationwide. Thai Buddhist nuns try to help develop people in 3 areas. 1. Education. 2. Dhamma propagation. 3. Social welfare. 1. Education. Thai non-educational activities are classified into 5 categories. First, Dhamma is taught inside temple. Some temple in Thailand doesn't teach Dhamma, so monks have to look for a temple where they can study Buddhism. For this Dhamma study, there are 3 levels, with each level requiring 1 year. So students have to spend 3 years to complete this program. Second, Abhidhamma study is learning about all of the Buddhist texts and commentaries called Abhidhammatasangkha. Third, Pali study consists of learning the language of the scripture that contain the teaching of the Buddha. This course of study consists of 9 levels and requires 9 years to complete. Fourth, meditation study teaches meditators how to purify their mind to achieve the highest aim of Buddhism, Nibbana. All Buddhist nuns who have been ordained must pass the process of meditation practice. Fifth, worldly studies include handicraft, secondary education, and higher education. Buddhist nuns study at government and private schools that teach handicraft and can gain local expertise. Number 2, Dhamma propagation. Although Thai society has not fully or officially accepted Buddhist nuns, they are willing to work for the good of Thai society. Nuns involved in Dhamma propagation can be classified into 2 types. Nuns who give Buddhist teaching include Dhamma teaching, Abhidhamma and Pali language, and nuns who teach meditation. some nuns are successful in teaching meditation, and more people are respected in learning and practicing meditation. As a Buddhist nun institute in China province, I have divided the nun role of Dhamma propagation into two types. One, Dhamma propagation for children. Two, Dhamma propagation for adults. Dhamma propagation for children. All children who come to study Dhamma are 9 to 12 years old. They learn morality and meditation practice. Dhamma propagation for adults. This activity is focused on teaching meditation for villagers by showing them how to train their minds in Dhamma for daily life, teaching them about doing good and how to avoid spiritual evils. The success of Dhamma propagation at China province has resulted in Thai children respecting Buddhist nuns and getting to know them better. Number 3, social welfare. Buddhist nuns are always ready to help during time of social crisis. In tsunami disaster, the Nun Institute help victims by making donations. We also regularly help people who have to food for their families. I have had an excellent opportunity to help the Nun Institute in China province to teach Buddhism and to help the local society. I was the chief of the team working there at times. I have invited monks and nuns from various places to come to work together when we have important Buddhist festivals. In conclusion, although Buddhist nuns must work very hard in Thailand to bring moral values and peace to society, the government has never officially or formally accepted their status as monastic people. But having said this, there is still much hope. Buddhist nuns are considered as volunteer workers who help society maintain and propagate Buddha teaching, Thai culture and social moral values. Nuns generate peace and happiness for the benefits of society in general. Thank you for your kind attention.
I forgot to mention in introducing her that Niechi Kritsuna is a very popular teacher in Thailand and that she has been teaching monks and novices for many years, which represents a tremendous breakthrough in Thai Buddhism. Our next speaker